mind works in this way through the virtual systems, and as well through something that I never fully described, which is literal atomic acceleration of one's atoms, of one's atomic energy, maybe on a subquantum level, and it basically begins to streamline everything as if your thoughts are closer, or that world of the mind where your thoughts exist become so close, they become closer, like your imagination begins to boom. It's like a consciousness experience. But when they're turned up all the way, every system is used, probably virtual encoding and translation, and many AI systems, or at least one main one and others working together. It can match your thoughts to the atomic blueprint of reality. The two worlds actually sync, and so it can materialize things. It's one of the most powerful anything, technology, or even thought we've ever had. You know, man has yearned to fly. Well, obviously in reality we've all wanted to make what we could imagine into reality. And so imagine that they're not playing around, in the sense that you can really get anything you want in the universe. And it's because the height of that, the center, where every angle that you're coming from or to that gets to the center, the result is the same, simply that whatever you had in your mind becomes overlaid 100% with this one, and it, you know, it's like you've created a custom universe. Control, maybe people slowly wake up and realize this and gain, you know, more abilities, or however you want to look at it, more knowledge at least, or more control over those energies within, and therefore what's around them. But imagine, for instance, then you got all these people doing things that figure out how to make it literally like you walk into a chamber or a room, and you can make things appear with your mind, or they can set up a field like that immortality field I was trying to describe to you. It works in the same, it's the same technology. They call it exotic technology, but it might just be a distraction that's just where our scientists are as far as humans go. But even then, are they humans if they've enhanced their mind to the point of operating as fast as a computer? They're still human at that point. We'll have to redefine human. They're superhuman. Technically, scientifically, that's what they're classed as. And there are many people in population that are something like that. You know, we have it everywhere. But maybe not, you know, to this degree. And so you have these people basically figuring out pills you can take that basically give you like the I don't know how to describe it, like an afterglow, or just supreme enhancement of the mind and body, to the point where they have chemical telepathy. Easy. I don't believe it's nanites, but it could be. But I'm pretty sure when a lot of this was described to me, there's nanites versions for everything, because that's usually what, you know, societies do. That's how small our iPhones are now. They're fucking microscopic. And so, but the idea is that they discovered a chemical that flips on a gene that's like latent, but in majority of the population, and is 100% telepathic Wi-Fi capability. You literally hear people's thoughts. Like, it literally translates for you, and apparently all these mirror neurons and these confusing sensors that we don't fully understand, these perceptual entanglement systems with our input and our physical senses, they're designed to do that. To literally create virtual environments as if we're all playing PlayStation communally in our minds and our mind reality while living physically here, and it's overlaid to the point where you could project your energy through the body like it's your system. But everything's just been dulled down, and that's, you know, why isn't the who and why and where is never easy to understand, or maybe even what. Because, for instance, people might say release this technology, and so it's like, okay, well, now people are telepathic, and it's just a worldwide mass like witch hunt, like Salem witch trial or something, because everybody's going insane. Or there's like super villains now that like feed off of the horror of others, and they got so much power in them. You know, it's literally, you need teams of people to slow them down, basically, to get heavier equipment into position. Anything other than what's happening now could ruin everything forever. And the treaty, the experiment, was to keep humans within their limited perceptual three-dimensional range and give a species a chance to grow up as if they were the first. As if they didn't have all this shit going on. Eternity. Everything that could have happened and could happen from here into eternity already happened an eternity ago. As soon as the universe turned on, all of it had already happened and played out. And we're just at some level of that, depending on our consciousness. And we might be at those levels eternally, to the point where it's just continuous horizontal motion of bubbles, if you will, instead of linear of one pathway to one. It's literally fabric throughout time, and we could be anywhere on there at any given time. It's just like the movie The Discovery, that we're just in closed time-like loops, or time-like curves, which is basically loops. And or like the previous movie, The Ark, with the reset points. That was the build-up. Oh, we have numbered resets. We have numbered, defined resets. Well, all that happens when you seek to define the unknown, and including these types of technologies with time, and how much of time there is if time loops and things and alterations and things like that. One begins to play with that. Is that it's all, as soon as you get there, it's all already happened. And if as soon as the first jump went, if they scrolled down, they would have seen thousands of jumps, and it all already played out, because it just happens. You only remember the last. It's like a day, but there are infinite days. According to your soul runs out of energy if you stay in the same situation too long. That's why it's almost like a rescue mission to wake people up from living in the same time loop or closed time-like curve forever, and you can jump between them. That's the whole point. And our civilization is in one big well of that, because we're all weighing down on reality and pulling everything into a general trend. And so outside the civilization, it's a different time bubble, a different temporal relativity, just like if you set up an artificial dimension. Our whole thing is one bubble, and we can't leave and come back in the sense physically, because we're all in the same temporal relativity. We're all in the same graduation team, if you will. But if you begin to use certain practices that they discovered, or I'll say just technology, you could technically create a bubble within a bubble that are at two different phases. And it's the same as if you died and came back, or left your body and left the universe and spent an eternity in the upper realms or something and came back. It's the same thing. That's why it's hard for people to understand. Cracking the mind is the same as cracking the cosmic egg. It's the same thing. It's a projection. And we all have the same holographic projection, so you would think it's real. It's like, if I break mine, that's it. It's like, no, they're unified. They're all one. But I mean, they're separate in the sense that if somebody's projection breaks, their universe ends or collapses, and they can watch it and they can come right back out from that. It's just, that's what they see. But it doesn't mean everyone else has to see that. They'll see the same or similar things, but when their own version of this cosmic thing we're looking at doesn't. It's like we're in a void space, we're in an arena, a playground, a material, stage, theater, and then we're playing out the script, the blockchain blueprint, which is the cosmic history of the universe. And in our minds, we all have to go from where we came from to where we are into where we're going, and eventually the two worlds should sync to that where we are and where we feel we should be, and what we know is right should become one. But at that point, you'd be outside of the physical dimension. If you had perfect sync between your mind and your body, the interference pattern of the two worlds would overlay, and it would reduce into being 50-50 either. But what is that? That's just one different thing. And but that's might be what's actually happening, and each different world is angled at an offset, just a degree, to create a perceptual link up here where the two lines now overlap, and there's an experience of consciousness, but they're literally virtual systems being projected down from two different dimensional sources, and it's a cosmic experiment by two different intelligence groups of two different races, civilizations.